Pam Bondi knows and has always known ever since she took over as Attorney General every word in every grand jury transcript in the Jeffrey Epstein case. Here is why this is just complete and utter nonsense. First of all, when were these grand jury transcripts created? Well, Jeffrey Epstein was investigated in 2019 by Bill Barr's Department of Justice in Donald Trump's first administration. So Bill Barr and the DOJ lawyers serving under him were the ones who were deciding what witnesses to put before the grand jury. And Brian, does anybody believe that if there was information that incriminated Donald Trump, Bill Barr would have given his attorneys the following instructions? Okay, I want you to drill down on all of the evidence of Donald Trump's crimes. I want you to put it in the grand jury, preserve it under oath so it can be used to prosecute my boss, Donald Trump. Are you kidding me? Of course, they probably navigated their way through that so as to protect Donald Trump. They also created the Ghislaine Maxwell transcripts because it was Bill Barr's Department of Justice that investigated and indicted Maxwell in 2020. So the same principle holds. These transcripts have always been in the hands of the Department of Justice. Pam Bondi is fully aware of what every witness said in the grand jury, and it feels like those witnesses were probably likely cherry-picked to just, get the indictment against Epstein and Maxwell, but not get anywhere near Donald Trump. This is a show he's putting on. Why? Because his base is fleeing from him. His base is turning on him because he promised that he would be releasing the Epstein file. The only thing that needs to be unsealed are grand jury transcripts. The other 90%, probably hundreds of thousands of documents and pieces of evidence, photographs, videotapes, DVDs, all of the really client lists, all of the really incriminating stuff, that's not protected by grand jury. The only thing we're talking about here is probably a small fraction of the Epstein file. Probably going to take a long time for the judge to rule on this because, you have very sensitive information in there about victims. And if the judge says, look, this isn't really in keeping with the rules governing the release of grand jury materials, so I deny your motion, Donald Trump will hide behind that and say, look, I wanted it all out there, even though we know now it's not incriminating. I wanted it all out there, but a lunatic left-wing judge said no. So it's really the judge's fault, not my fault. So this is nothing more than a show.